For the last 30 days, I have foraged 100% of my food. Every single bite. That's right, for one whole month, I only ate food that I harvested from the wild. Nature has been my garden, my pantry, and my pharmacy. I foraged in wild spaces, rural countryside, urban streets and parks, neglected patches of front yard, everywhere that I found food growing. As I began to prepare for the month, I knew that I would have to find sources to harvest all of my basic needs. And I gave myself only 9 days to prepare. To start, I harvested wild rice as my main calorie source. I harvested over 30 pounds of rice in just one day, which would keep me going for the entire month. I harvested apples, pears, and plums to make hearty applesauce and pear sauce. I harvested high vitamin fruits like autumnberry and aronia, and pawpaws in Ohio that really satisfied my sweet tooth. I harvested a variety of different wild greens like stinging nettle, over a dozen medicinal herbs for teas, mushrooms for sustenance and medicine, nuts like hickory nuts, chestnuts, and black walnuts. And just important was flavor. So I harvested spices like wild onion, wild chives, and mustard, and even my wild water from springs. Now, you might be wondering, what about the protein? Well, that's where I was really hoping to find a deer that had been hit by a car. Over 1 million deer are hit by cars every year in the United States alone, and many of them are killed. So finding a deer actually came really easily. Eating a deer from the side of the road might sound kind of crazy to a lot of you, but it's actually a lot easier to tell if the deer is still good or not. It provided so much nourishment for the whole month. My greatest struggle was harvesting enough fat. I caught some fish and I harvested nuts, and there's some fat on the deer, but ultimately I fell short of harvesting enough fat. My other struggle was just having the flavor in my meals. I have to say, a pot of soup or a meal without any salt or oil, it's really hard to achieve the flavor, even with all of the herbs and spices in there. A lot of my meals were ultimately kind of bland, and I was struggling with just sometimes even wanting to eat. It was day 19 that changed. I arrived at the Atlantic Ocean, and after 19 days without salt, harvested my salt. And all of a sudden, all these flavors that had been in the pot all along were there, and I could taste them, and it was glorious. The highest moment of the entire month was definitely that first meal with salt. And then on day 27, I managed to make oil for the first time. And this was using hickory nuts to make my oil. That 100% foraged meal from the land, the flavor of that was just wow with every single bite. A typical meal was wild rice cooked in fish broth with venison, applesauce, mixed in different berries, loaded with a blended herb mix that I made, sea salt from the ocean, fresh wild chives and wild onion seeds, and sauteed greens. I came away from the month having lost about 5 pounds, which, to be honest, for not having any junk food, no ice cream, none of the convenience processed foods from the grocery store, well, that's about to be expected. Foraging is about reconnecting and getting to know the land that was stolen from the Native Americans. Foraging was even criminalized through no trespassing laws, specifically against folks of color, making it nearly impossible to live a life that was connected deeply to the earth. As I foraged from Wisconsin all the way to Washington, D.C., I led plant walks, bringing others out to help them to reconnect with the earth and to see that there is actually such thing as a free lunch. In fact, there are hundreds of free lunches growing all around us. My name is Rob Greenfield, and I'm an environmental activist who is known for taking on extreme adventures that are designed to raise awareness about the most important issues of our time.